Hello and welcome back to Microbial Concepts. So in this video we are going to discuss about microbial toxins. So this is actually a subject or topic related to food microbiology. Okay, in general microbiology, in practicals you have aflatoxin, which is a fungal toxin, but we don't study other toxins in detail in general microbiology. Okay, so in food microbiology, if you are a food microbiology student, MSc, BSc, then you might come across this topic in your syllabus. So let's study this. So in this video, we are going to discuss about bacterial, some fungal and some algal toxins. Okay, I cannot include each and every toxin in one video, so I'm including which are commonly studied. Okay, so let's start. So what is microbial toxins? Okay, and then we will move towards bacterial, fungal and algal. So microbial toxins, these are actually substances. Okay, toxins are the substances which are produced by certain microorganisms. Okay, it is not a common trait of all the microbes. That means not each and every microbial type of cell will produce any kind of toxin. Okay, that is not a common trait. Some or certain microorganisms have this capacity to produce a certain substance which is toxic to the other host organisms, that can be animal, plant or human. Okay, so that's the reason why we study these toxins, because they are harmful to us. Now bacterial toxins, they are secreted by the bacteria as a part of their defense mechanism or as a means to obtain nutrients or invade a tissue. Then bacterial toxins, they can have effects on the host ranging from mild to severe. Okay, now if you consume a toxin, then the effect, okay, that can be mild or it can be severe. It depends on what type of toxin has been consumed and how much lethal it is. Okay, and they play a significant role in pathogenesis of many bacterial infections. Now, what is pathogenesis? A video is uploaded on my channel. If you are not uh, sure that you know this concept properly, pathogenesis, pathogenic islands, okay, virulence factors, everything is discussed in that video. So you can go and watch that video on my channel. Now there are two types of bacterial toxins. So first is exotoxin and second one is endotoxin. Now exotoxins are what? So these are toxins which are actually proteins and they are produced and released by bacteria into their surrounding environment. Okay, we are talking about exotoxins. Now exo means they are typically heat labile, that means they are sensitive to heat. Okay, you can destroy this toxin by just heating and can be further classified into different types based on their mode of action. Now example of exotoxin include the diphtheria toxin produced by Corynebacterium diphtheriae and botulinum toxin which is produced by Clostridium botulinum. Now these are excreted outside. Okay, that's the reason why we term them as exotoxins. Now about endotoxins. Endotoxins, these are actually the lipopolysaccharides of the outer membrane of gram-negative bacteria. Okay, means a part of their cell membrane, that is lipopolysaccharides. Now they are released when the bacteria die. Okay, so they are not secreted when the bacterial cell lysis happens or it dies. At that time only these lipopolysaccharides they get released into the environment. Okay, and their cell wall breaks. Okay, that's the reason why these lipopolysaccharides they get released in the environment. Now these are actually heat stable. That's the reason why there is BET test, that is bacterial endotoxin test. This is very important when it comes to pharmaceutical industries. They check endotoxins first. Why? Because they are pyrogenic. Okay, the most well-known endotoxin is lipopolysaccharide found in the cell wall of Escherichia coli and other gram-negative bacteria. Right? Now, bacterial toxins, they can have various effects on host depending on the specific toxin and the targeted tissue or the organ. Some toxins, they damage host cells directly, while others, they interfere with the host immune response or the immune system, right? And then our that means the host immune system starts attacking it or starts to eliminate it. Now, common effects of bacterial toxins include cell death, tissue damage, inflammation, disruption of cellular signaling, and then inhibition of host immune response. Okay. Now, the effects of bacterial toxins can lead to a range of symptoms and can cause a disease also. That depends on which bacteria is involved. Okay, so examples of diseases caused by bacterial toxins are tetanus, diphtheria, botulism, cholera, and toxic shock syndrome. Okay, that's the reason why bacterial toxins are very important and they are included in your syllabus. Now let's study some examples here. So first is staphylococcal enterotoxin. Thus the name suggests, as it is produced by Staphylococcus aureus, and this toxin is heat stable and thus it can withstand the cooking temperatures. Okay, it is commonly associated with the improper handling and storage of food, especially those which are containing dairy products, meats, and salads. Okay, then botulinum toxin. So it is produced by Clostridium botulinum and is a potent neurotoxin which causes botulism. Okay, so it is a neurotoxin, thus it will affect your uh, nervous system. Okay, it is often associated with the improper canned, that means packed, okay, canned food, improperly canned or preserved foods, especially low in acid, okay, such as canned vegetables, cured meats, and home canned foods. The next is Shiga toxin. So this is actually produced by Escherichia coli, a certain strain of Escherichia coli, that is E. coli, which particularly which is the serotype, we term it as or we name it as O157H7. Okay, so this toxin is associated with the severe foodborne illnesses such as Shiga toxin producing E. coli. So it stands as STEC, that is Shiga toxin producing E. coli infections. Okay, now it is mainly found in contaminated undercooked ground beef, raw milk, fresh produce, or contaminated water. These are the common sources. Okay. Now next is enterotoxins of Vibrio cholerae. Now Vibrio cholerae bacteria produce cholera toxin, which causes cholera, and it is actually a severe diarrheal disease. Okay, stomach upset. Now, contaminated water, seafood, and raw or undercooked shellfish, these are the major sources of Vibrio cholerae infections. So then next is Bacillus cereus. So it is a spore forming means endospore forming bacterial culture which produces two types of toxins, that is heat labile enterotoxin and heat stable emetic toxin. Now it is commonly found or it commonly grows on starchy food items which are not cooked properly and then they are stored, which includes rice, pasta, some sauces, etc. Now, when it is or when these food items they are not cooked properly, it and then they are stored, this particular culture of bacillus it starts flourishing and it produces the toxin. Okay, and if you consume this, you get some illness. Now, Salmonella enterotoxin is another one. So, some strains of Salmonella, see, I'm repeating again, some strains, not all strains of Salmonella produce enterotoxins. Some strains produce and they contribute to the food poisoning. And you will find that eggs, poultry, meat, dairy products, these are the common food items which harbor Salmonella. Okay. So these are few examples of bacterial toxins, okay, which are associated with the food items, and then on consuming these contaminated food items, one can get any kind of disease or they can fall sick. Now it is important to note that we can prevent food poisoning just by proper food handling. That means washing food items, that means for example fruits, then salad related vegetables. Okay, you need to handle them properly, you need to wash them properly, store them properly. Okay, and when you prepare, you cook, you have to ensure that whatever food item you are cooking, it is cooked properly. Okay, and if it is left, some food item is left, you can store it back into refrigerators, but within a day you have to consume that. Okay. So next are fungal toxins. So first is aflatoxin. Now related to aflatoxins, two videos are already uploaded on my channel. First is practical related video, and that means isolation of the culture, fungal culture, and studying the type of aflatoxin it is producing. And the second is a theory related video. So all these videos are uploaded on my channel, you can check this out. So quick revision. So aflatoxins are highly toxic and carcinogenic compounds which are produced by the fungus, okay, which are mainly Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. Now they can contaminate peanuts, corn, cottonseed, and tree nuts. Okay. Now aflatoxins, they are associated with the liver damage, liver cancer, and have immunosuppressive effects. Okay. That's the reason why mainly we study aflatoxins when it comes to fungal toxins first. Okay. Then next is ochratoxin. So ochratoxin A is a mycotoxin. What is mycotoxin? Myco stands for fungi. Okay, so it is a fungal toxin which is produced by species of some Aspergillus and some Penicillium species. Okay, it contaminates foods such as cereals, coffee, wine, then dried fruits and spices. Now, ochratoxin A has been linked to kidney damage, including nephropathy, and is classified as possible carcinogenic to humans. The next is fusarium toxin. So by the name you can understand that some species of fusarium also produces some toxins which include DON, that is deoxynivalenol, and zearalenol, that is ZEA, and fumonicin. Okay, so these are the three mucotoxins which are produced by fusarium. Now these toxins, they can contaminate cereal crops such as wheat, corn and barley, and they are associated with the health effects like gastrointestinal disorders, then estrogenic effect and potential carcinogenicity. See, now we have seen almost three examples of fungal toxins which have carcinogenic effects, that is aflatoxin, ochratoxin and these fusarium toxins. Then next is patulin or patulin. So it is also a mycotoxin which is produced by species of Penicillium and Aspergillus. It is often found in moldy fruits, that means ones which can be easily get infected by the fungus. Those are like apples, okay, or pear, apple, peaches. These are the moldy fruits. So of that, here the example is given of apples or the apple derived products such as apple juice and apple cider. Now patulin or patulin has been associated with the genotoxicity and potential adverse health effects, including harm to the immune system and gastrointestinal disturbance. Next is ergot alkaloids. Now ergot alkaloids are produced by fungus Claviceps purpurei, which infects um, cereal crops such as rye, wheat and barley. Now consumption of infected or contaminated grains can lead to ergotism. Like in case of botulinum toxin, we have seen that it can lead to botulism. So when you consume ergot alkaloids, grains which are contaminated with this fungus, you can get ergotism. Okay, now it is characterized by the symptoms like hallucination, gangrene, vasoconstriction and neurological disorders. So you can compare like how fungal and bacterial toxins, they are lethal. Okay. Now let's move towards algal toxins. Now these are quite difficult names to pronounce, but okay, we have to study them. So first is saxitoxin. So saxitoxin are potent neurotoxins which are produced by some species of dinoflagellate algae. Okay, so examples are like Alexandrium, Gynodinium. Okay, now these cause a condition known as paralytic shellfish poisoning, PSP, paralytic shellfish poisoning, when contaminated shellfish such as clams or mussels they are consumed. Now saxitoxins, they block voltage gate sodium channels leading to the paralysis and potential life-threatening serious respiratory failure. Now next is ciguatoxin. Okay, so ciguatoxin or ciguatoxin, they are marine toxins produced by species of some dinoflagellates like difficult to pronounce, that is Gambiridicus, okay, and Fukua. So that adheres to the coral reefs, and they can accumulate in the larger predator fish which depends on coral reefs for their food. Now consumption of such contaminated fishes, for example the groupers, barracuda or snapperfish, this can cause uh, Ciguatera fish poisoning, that is CFA. Okay, Ciguatera fish poisoning. Now ciguatoxin, it affects sodium channels in nerve cells leading to gastrointestinal and neurological symptoms. Then next is brevetoxin or brevetoxin. So it is produced by marine dinoflagellate again, which is responsible for harmful algal blooms, that is red tides in coastal waters. Okay, red tide is actually that dinoflagellate, it flourishes so much that the water turns red. Okay, because these algal blooms are flourishing in that particular area, so it looks like it is having the water, the sea water is having, or say fresh water is having the red color. Okay, now consumption of contaminated shellfishes such as clams, oysters, it can cause neurotoxin shellfish poisoning. Now here it is NSP. Previously it was PSP. Now here it is NSP, that is neurotoxin shellfish poisoning. Now brevetoxins, they bind to sodium channels again, then leading to neurological symptoms such as gastrointestinal issues, respiratory distress, and in rare cases can cause neurological damage also. Then next is domoic acid. So domoic acid is a toxin produced by species of diatom algae. Primarily you can name it as pseudo okay, so it causes amnesic shellfish poisoning. Here it is ASP, amnesic shellfish poisoning, when contaminated shellfishes they are consumed. Okay, so you can get a condition known as amnesic shellfish poisoning. Now domoic acid, it acts as an excitatory nervous system, okay, and leading to the symptoms such as again gastrointestinal distress, confusion, memory loss, and in severe cases can cause coma or death. And last is microcysteines. Now microcysteines, these are hepatotoxins which are produced by cyanobacteria. Okay, now cyanobacteria, we also name them as blue green algae. Now they are associated with harmful algal blooms. Okay, that is HABs, that is harmful algal blooms in freshwater bodies such as lakes, ponds, and reservoirs. Now this is example from the freshwater bodies where cyanobacteria they grow. Now these species, they can produce mycocystins. Okay, And consumption of contaminated water itself or aquatic organisms such as fish, it can lead to acute or chronic toxicity. Now microcysteines, they affect liver and can cause liver damage and potential long-term health effects. Okay, so we have seen many examples of microbial toxins here. So you know that now how toxins, they can pose significant health risk if they are consumed in contaminated food. Okay, so it is important to prevent um, microbial toxins by just monitoring the contamination in the food commodities through proper storage, proper processing, and then adhering to the regulatory guidelines to ensure food safety. This is related to the food industries where um, raw food, okay, or some packed food like sandwiches, canned foods, they are processed, they are manufactured, and then they are sent. Okay, to them, it is very necessary that they adhere to the regulatory guidelines to ensure food safety. So I hope this video is helpful to you all. So do like my videos, give a thumbs up, do share these videos with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, hit the bell icon so that you will get notified on each new video that I upload.